Bobcats, those elegant little wildcats with their tufted ears and short, stubby tails, have always symbolized the quiet mystery of North America's wilderness. Yet, in recent decades, a remarkable story has been unfolding in the very places where people live, work, and commute. Across suburbs, small towns, and even the edges of major cities, bobcats are slipping into the background of human life, carving out hunting grounds in vacant lots, resting in overgrown greenbelts, and raising their young in the forgotten corners of our built landscapes. To understand how bobcats manage to thrive in the shadows of urban development, we must first look back at their history with people. For centuries, these cats were persecuted as livestock thieves or treated as vermin. Pelts were traded, and bounties were common through much of the 20th century. Yet the bobcat's resilience allowed it to hang on even as its larger relatives, the cougar and the gray wolf, vanished from many regions. By the time conservation laws and hunting restrictions began to take hold in the 1970s and 1980s, bobcats had learned to adapt not only to recovering forests, but also to the patchwork of farmlands and neighborhoods replacing wild prairies and woodlands. Today, their distribution maps reveal a pattern unlike that of most medium predators. Instead of being locked into remote refuges, bobcats occupy nearly every continental U.S. state, creeping closer to urban centers each year. Biologists tracking their movements with radio collars have recorded some astonishing journeys. A young male weaving through golf courses and drainage ditches on the outskirts of Los Angeles. A mother sneaking across a culvert beneath a Texas freeway to return to her hidden den. An old tom feeding on rabbits that graze beside backyard vegetable gardens in Florida. These animals exploit the edge effect, where wild and developed zones meet and prey animals. Cottontail rabbits, squirrels, rodents, even small birds become abundant. The first step in understanding their urban success is recognizing their supreme adaptability. Bobcats have a flexible diet, eating whatever is most available, from meadow voles to quail to the occasional stray rat around dumpsters. They are opportunistic hunters, capable of freezing in total stillness before a precise pounce, or sprinting after a target with explosive power. Their territory size also varies widely. In remote wilderness, a male may patrol more than 25 square miles, while a female in a suburban greenway may keep to only 2 or 3, tucking her resting spots under thick brambles or behind discarded logs. Equally vital is their secretive nature. Unlike coyotes, which boldly trot down sidewalks in daylight, bobcats move mostly in twilight or at night, hugging hedgerows and creeping along fence lines. Many city residents have shared photos of cats caught on home security cameras at 2 a.m., silent as smoke as they pad across patios. Because they are shy and avoid direct conflict, they can live undetected in places buzzing with people, provided there is a steady food supply and at least small pockets of cover. But their story near cities is not just one of stealth, it is also one of cultural change. Where once people might have shot any wild feline on sight, a growing appreciation for native predators has softened attitudes. Social media groups celebrate surprise sightings, and wildlife rehabilitators share videos of orphaned kittens released back into nature. Even municipal governments in some regions have begun to recognize bobcats as part of the urban ecosystem, crafting policies that discourage poisoning rodents, which can sicken cats through secondary poisoning, and encourage the preservation of riparian corridors. Researchers emphasize, however, that bobcats still face serious challenges in metropolitan landscapes. Vehicle collisions remain one of the top causes of death, and road networks can fragment populations, preventing them from finding mates or expanding territories. Toxic exposure from anticoagulant rodenticides, used to kill rats and mice, can accumulate in bobcat livers and lead to mange or death. Habitat loss continues as vacant land is paved over. Yet the very fact that bobcats remain present at all, even expanding their range in some states, speaks to their evolutionary toolkit. Keen senses, cautious temperament, and the capacity to live off a wide variety of prey. The next chapters of this story will dive deeper into how bobcats choose den sites among culverts and brush piles, how mothers teach their kittens to survive in a world of streetlights and traffic, and how communities balance development with the protection of these subtle predators. For now, it is enough to marvel that an animal once associated only with rugged mountains and deep forests now stalks along drainage canals and manicured lawns, perfectly at home in the edges of our civilization. Beyond the first impressions of stealth and survival, the day-to-day life of bobcats living close to cities is a mosaic of fascinating behaviors shaped by the push and pull of wilderness and suburbia. Their hunting practices in particular reveal how fluidly they adjust to environments dominated by people. At dusk, when porch lights flicker on and commuter traffic begins to thin, a bobcat may emerge from a patch of overgrown grass behind a shopping plaza, scanning for rabbits grazing on the lawn margins. A quick leap over a storm-drained curb, and the cat melts into shadow, ears swiveling to catch the faint rustle of prey. Unlike larger cats that require wide expanses and large game, bobcats excel at catching animals that flourish in the disturbed niches of human communities. Cottontails nibbling near fences, ground squirrels tunneling beneath ornamental shrubs, even the occasional rat or pigeon scratching behind dumpsters. Their ability to eat from such an eclectic menu gives them a resilience rarely seen among predators of similar size. Denning is another essential component of their urban success. Female bobcats seek out secure hideaways where kittens can be born and raised with minimal disturbance. In wild mountains, these dens might be under a rock ledge or inside a hollow log. Near towns, females improvise, choosing thick blackberry tangles, abandoned sheds, or dense clusters of pampas grass along drainage canals. Some dens have even been documented inside and used crawl spaces under rural homes, a reminder of how thin the boundary can be between our worlds. Kittens, born blind and helpless, remain hidden for several weeks while their mother hunts, returning periodically to nurse them and groom their fur. As they grow, she begins to move them between alternate shelters, a strategy that protects against detection by other predators or by curious pets. Observers using remote cameras have captured tender scenes of mothers carrying tiny kittens gently by the scruff, weaving between parked cars or across a moonlit backlit, intent on securing their safety. Teaching young bobcats the art of stealth is a gradual process. Around 8 to 10 weeks old, kittens venture out under supervision, learning to freeze when a noise startles them or to crouch low before a pounce. In wilder settings, these lessons take place among cedar trunks and meadow grasses. In semi-urban zones, the classroom might be a vacant lot or a quiet corner of a park after closing hours. By autumn, juveniles are honing their hunting skills on voles and grasshoppers, while their mother guides them away from hazards such as roads or unleashed dogs. Survival rates are often lower near cities. Community awareness plays a pivotal role in whether bobcats flourish or falter. Neighborhoods that preserve pockets of native vegetation, keep garbage secure, and discourage free-roaming dogs and cats create a safer landscape for both wildlife and residents. Public education about avoiding poisons and driving carefully at dawn and dusk can make measurable differences in mortality rates. Some forward-thinking city planners are designing green infrastructure, such as vegetated corridors and wildlife overpasses, that link fragmented habitats, letting bobcats and other species move freely without risking road collisions. These projects illustrate that conservation need not be confined to distant reserves. It can happen right where people live. The cultural resonance of bobcats adds another layer to their urban narrative. For many, glimpsing one of these cats at the edge of a playground or along a neighborhood trail sparks a sense of wonder, a reminder that the untamed world is never entirely gone. Artists paint them against city skylines, photographers seek out their secret haunts, and teachers use their stories to inspire students about ecology. This shared fascination often leads to grassroots advocacy, whether in the form of petitions to protect riparian zones or volunteer groups planting native shrubs to provide cover for small mammals, indirectly supporting bobcat prey bases. Yet the balance between admiration and caution is delicate. Feeding bobcats or trying to approach them can erode their natural fear and lead to conflicts, so experts urge respectful distance and leaving wild animals wild. When incidents occur, such as a bobcat taking poultry or small pets, wildlife agencies encourage practical deterrence: secure coops, sturdy fencing, motion-activated lights. These measures allow coexistence while safeguarding both people and predators. The more communities understand that bobcats are shy, primarily nocturnal hunters, not aggressive prowlers, the more space there is for peaceful sharing of the environment. Scientific monitoring continues to shed light on their hidden lives. GPS collars reveal nightly journeys spanning miles, sometimes tracing invisible lines through neighborhoods, past office parks, and into forgotten wetlands. Diet analyses confirm how heavily they depend on abundant rabbits and rodents, emphasizing the importance of keeping food chains free of toxic rodenticides. Health assessments examine the prevalence of mange linked to poison exposure, offering insight into how urban pollutants ripple through ecosystems. Each study contributes to a growing appreciation of how adaptable these cats truly are, and how their success is intertwined with thoughtful human stewardship. Ultimately, the saga of bobcats in urban shadows is a testament to the resilience of nature and to our capacity to coexist with it. Where concrete meets chaparral and porch lights glow over hidden thickets, these quiet hunters continue their timeless routines, stalking, listening, raising young, and slipping away before dawn. Their presence invites us to see our neighborhoods not as sealed bubbles separate from the wild, but as part of a larger living web, one where even the most secretive predators can find a place if we grant them respect and room to roam. For bobcats living on the edges of cities, bringing new life into the world is both an instinctive triumph and a daily gamble. Spring is the high season of renewal, and in greenbelts, golf course thickets, and hidden ravines, female bobcats quietly search for den sites where their kittens will remain concealed from the world. An urban bobcat mother is a meticulous architect. She might claim a hollow log tucked behind an abandoned shed, a brushy ledge above a storm channel, or the crawl space beneath an unused outbuilding. Wherever she settles, the spot must balance secrecy, warmth, and quick escape routes. Within these improvised nurseries, usually 2 to 4 blind, helpless kittens arrive, their faint mews barely audible over the hum of traffic or the hiss of sprinklers watering a nearby lawn. For the first few weeks, the mother stays close, venturing out only when hunger drives her. She stalks cottontail rabbits in empty lots, leaps for unsuspecting pigeons on warehouse roofs, or raids clusters of rodents thriving around dumpsters. Every excursion is a calculation between risk and reward. A bobcat in an alley is vulnerable to speeding cars, roaming dogs, or the sharp eyes of people who may not welcome her presence. As the kittens grow and their blue eyes turn amber, play and pounce lessons begin. A mother may ferry half-eaten prey back to the den, patiently waiting as her offspring bat, chew, and practice killing grips. She introduces them to urban hunting grounds, overgrown easements, drainage ditches carpeted with weeds, and pockets of parkland that slip between neighborhoods. Here they sharpen their stealth among human scents and sounds, learning to freeze at the slam of a car door or retreat when a cyclist speeds past. Survival rates in these habitats hinge on adaptability. Some young bobcats succumb to mange or distemper spread by domestic pets. Others fall victim to road mortality or become trapped in backyards when curiosity outpaces caution. Yet, despite these dangers, many urban-born bobcats mature successfully. Studies using GPS collars show juveniles dispersing along rail corridors, under freeway overpasses, and through canal embankments, often traveling miles to stake new claims on the city's fringe. Mothers rarely accompany them once they strike out, but her training, the subtle art of patience, silence, and quick reflexes, remains etched in their behavior. Each successful litter contributes to the quiet persistence of bobcats in metropolitan landscapes, ensuring that, even where streetlights outnumber stars, the lineage of these elusive cats endures. Understanding how bobcats carve out a living in landscapes dominated by concrete and glass has become a fascinating challenge for biologists. Over the past 2 decades, wildlife ecologists from universities and state agencies have turned city limits into living laboratories, using a mix of old-school field craft and cutting-edge technology to unravel the habits of these secretive cats. Researchers set up grids of motion-activated cameras along hiking trails, drainage channels, even behind shopping centers, capturing grainy images of spotted coats slipping past after dark. They map these sightings, revealing surprising travel corridors, disused railway lines, vegetated freeway medians, flood control canals, and golf courses that act as green arteries. To dig deeper, scientists humanely trap and release adult bobcats, fitting them with lightweight GPS collars. These devices upload data at regular intervals, sketching intricate pathways across digital maps and showing how a single cat may patrol a home range stitched together from vacant lots, industrial parks, creekside thickets, and quiet cul-de-sacs.